The Class 66 has become ambiguous across the British rail network, and 2024 sees the 26th anniversary of the introduction of the class. The story began with English, Welsh and Scottish Railway Company EWS back in 1996. The then new company needed to upgrade its fleet of increasingly unreliable locomotives it had inherited from the takeover of 5 British rail businesses, which were Roadhaul, Mainline, Transrail, Rail Express, Systems and Rail Distribution. The successful introduction of the Class 66 was starting to ruffle feathers amongst other freight operators. Freightliner had been the first-hand experience using GM power plants, having had 12 of its Class 47s re-engineered to Class 57s as part of a reliability programme with reconditioned power units. Whilst cost-effective, this was only ever a stopgap. Freightliner were the first ordered the first 5 locomotives in March 1999, with another follow-up order of 15 locomotives shortly after. At the start of 2000, GB Railways, who were then operated by the Anglia passenger franchise, moved into the freight market with an order of 7 Class 66s. These were numbered 66-7s range, and like Freightliner's 66-5s, were identical to the EWS 66-0s. GBR was to use their recently set up freight arm, GB Rail Freight GRF, which had won a deal with Railtrack to supply 7 brand new locomotives to move infrastructure trains in Anglia and the southeast of England. In 2006, General Motors' Electromotive division was sold to a consortium that included Greenbrier Equity Group and Berkshire Partners. It became Electromotive Diesel, EMD, which incidentally have a location at Longport in Cheshire, between Stoke and Crewe. That facility at Longport is a maintenance depot, I believe. So, the Class 66 locomotives were built by several manufacturers in the United States, Europe and Asia, including GE Transportation, aka General Electric in America, with over 200 units built at a plant in Erie, Pennsylvania. The iconic Brell, British Rail Engineering Limited, built a few Class 66s at York between late 1980s and 1990s. Alstom of France built some more at Belfort in the early 90s. I believe Bombardier in Canada also built some at La Portière-Couep. Sorry, my French is terrible. Why was the Class 66 built? The 66s were built in the 90s by General Electric in response to a growing demand for diesel-electric locomotives in the UK, and at the time the UK's rail network was undergoing significant changes, including introduction of new rail freight operators that needed more efficient and reliable locomotives. The key reasons were replacing ageing locomotives. Many of the Class 35s, 37s were reaching the end of the lifespan, and the 66s were designed to fill a gap and provide a more modern and efficient alternative. Growing demand for rail freight in the 90s saw significant traffic to the UK, which was driven by government changes in policy, increased competition, and a whole new way to be more environmentally friendly and more efficient to transport stuff all across the UK. There was always going to be a need for more powerful locomotives to haul heavier and bigger trains. The 66s were designed with more power than earlier locomotives to operate at higher speeds, such as 75 miles an hour. Internationally, they were designed to compete with Germany and France, with the other diesel-electric locomotives, such as the German Class 193 and the French Double B 6200. How could it compare? And it has been such a success. The original order for 250 locomotives, 66001 being the first, costed a whopping £375 million, with the power output reaching 3,300 horsepower, weighing just shy of 130 tonnes, and a fuel capacity of 6,400 litres. The very first Class 66 that was delivered into the UK was delivered on the 18th of April 1996. Class 66 has a reputation for being reliable and low maintenance, with many units operating for hundreds of thousands of miles without major issues. This has reduced maintenance costs and minimised downtime for rail operators, making them a more profitable market. They were designed with various power outputs from 2,200 horsepower up to 3,000 to suit different types of freight trains and operating conditions, which made it a very attractive and prosperous venture. Clever build design made sure that the operating costs were kept low and the attractive nature of the profit was kept high, making the locomotives more adaptable so they could run around mountainous regions, urban, coastal, cities. Wherever you can take a train, the 66 can do it. The UK government provided support through the development and deployment of the 66 throughout various initiatives such as Rail Freight Group's Freight Corridors programme, which aimed to improve freight capacity on the rail network. Private investment in the rail industry has also played a significant role in the success. Companies like DB Cargo UK, Freightliner and GB Rail Freight have invested heavily in the locomotive, as have Freightliner, in the potential to improve costs and fuel economy. Numbering. There are 5 current operators, I believe, in the UK. DB have 66001 to 099, 66100 to 249, DRS have 66421 to 434, Freightliner 401 to 419 and 501 to 599, and Freightliner also have 601 623, 951 957 grouping. Colas Rail Freight have 6841 and 849, and GBRF have a multitude from 66301 to 305, which are ex-DRS locomotives, and 66701 to 66799, which have an extremely huge array of liveries and colours. The Class 66 has been exported to several countries around the world and is currently operating in following countries as I can grasp. The United Kingdom has at least 400 locos with 5 operators. Belgium has at least 12. France has a lot. Germany has at least 20. Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Serbia, Romania, South Africa, and even, I believe, Australia have 10, making it one of the most global, successful locomotives ever built. Nicknames and explanation. The Class 66 is often referred to as a shed or sheds in the rail industry, particularly amongst rail enthusiasts such as myself. The term shed is a equilibrium that has been used to describe the 66 for several reasons. Appearance. The angular design of flat cab profile give it a distinctive appearance, which is reminiscent of a shed or a box-like structure. They are a very bulky, large and imposing locomotive with a high weight and long body. It can appear like a shed structure viewed from several angles. Functionality and simplistic design make it a very basic but strong designed locomotive. And also very high performance. It's certainly worth noting not everyone uses the term shed and has an array of different wordings for it, and some may find it derogatory or unflattering. However, amongst rail enthusiasts like myself and certain rail workers, it's a very affectionate common term for these hard-working, incredible locomotives. So the 66 has been more successful than anyone could ever imagined, and will only go from strength to strength, which is only going to help the UK and the global freight market. Despite being, from many enthusiasts, not being the most exciting locomotives, they've probably got to be the most efficient of all. And possibly the post-British Rail's biggest success story, transforming the industry and the country in many ways. In the description below, I've left some helpful further reading and another video which will help give you some more cool facts about the Class 66. I hope you enjoyed watching this short video and my take on the Class 66. Thanks for watching and goodbye.